Hi. Today we're going to help you find your balance word. This is what I'm going to call a restorative embodiment activity. It's finding your balance word. So what does this do? You're going to go through a process where you recall a state of goodness. Okay. I'm going to put it that way, whether it was a balanced, happy, peaceful. This is for you to explore. And then you're going to have the experience of having a very embodied memory of this event. And then we'll name it. You'll name it. You'll name yours. And then we'll teach you how to utilize that memory and that name. And so it will be a word that anchors you into a embodied sensation that reminds you of one way to be in the world that hopefully is a way that you can orient and resource yourself for living, being productive, rebalancing yourself, balancing yourself in the first place. Start in the morning on the right path. Something that you can use to help heal yourself, something that you can use to be strong, to energize yourself, be more engaging, have better decision making. So hopefully it does this for you. It's important to have access to the sensations of your body in the most regulated way, places within your body that are peaceful, the more the better, to be able to engage the world from basically a home base that gives you the opportunity to not kind of float away or be outside of yourself, be grounded, be able to have boundaries, be able to listen with less reactivity, be able to slow down events that could be reactive. I think this is important because I really think that you may have more choices than you know. That you may have more ability to be strong and resilient, strong in this longevity way, be more effective than you could imagine, and happier. This particular, I came up with this particular activity. It's a blend of my teacher Bob Duggan's work, where he had this word of the day, a word that you could live in, and we can work on that at some point too. And I had a teacher by the name of Mike, who was my martial arts teacher. And he was very big on establishing this reference point that was both spiritual and physical, to have a reference point that you knew where you were orienting from, the spiritual content and the spiritual context that you were in based on your sensations. And so this is kind of a blend of those things. As well as kind of my own take on it. Bob Duggan and Mike were both amazing people. Both of them have passed away. I will actually include links for Bob Duggan's written work in the description. Okay, so we're going to guide you through this. I want you to remember a time where just things were really good. It felt really good. It could be a time you were in the mountains. It could be the time where you've accomplished something and felt really good about yourself, where you deeply felt peace and love for yourself, where it could be a time you were being held by a loved one. Could be after a meditation or a yoga experience, a great healing experience, one great moment. And I want you to remember it. Now that you've remembered your moment, I want you to remember the sensations. Can you remember the smells? Do you remember the sounds? And from head to toe, remember the sensations in your body. For me, I'm remembering the warm water that I was in at the time. I'm remembering the cool air on my face. I'm remembering the smell, the sound of the breeze. I want you to remember this experience with every fiber of your being. I want you to feel it like it was happening right now. Okay. Now I want you to name it. What do you call it? Oh, the word that comes to mind, believe it or not, for mine is this ah. So it could be a sound, an expression. Um, I've used peace a lot. I've used grounded. I have had people I've worked with and coached who use grounded, centered. But I don't want you to look at it from the outside of the experience and name it. I want you to name it from within the feeling that experience. Okay, now that you've named it, I want you to live with it. Okay, so every morning, and if it's not morning now, that's fine. You start now. And then every morning after today, you remember that word. You remember the feelings. If you need the event to remember the feelings, then you use the event too. Okay. And you remember it, you embody it with every fiber of your being. You remember every sensation. All right. And then you live your day like that. Okay. I want you continue to use your observer, right? Remember this developing a self-observer, developing a self-observer. You continue to do this, okay? But now you have something to anchor yourself back. Once you observe yourself going off the rails, getting upset, starting to dither about, as they say, go around, worried about things. Oh my gosh, I'm late. I want you to have some part of your own being, whether it's your spirit or your psyche, some part of your own being watching over you. And then when you observe yourself doing that, go, oh no, let's stop that. Let's go back to, and whatever it is your word is, be it peace or grounded or centered or joy or whatever the word is, or whether it's a sound like ah. And then you reuse it. You initiate that word, you come back to come back to the memory, that embodied memory of what it felt like. If you need the initial event, use the initial event. All of that is okay. So rinse and repeat. So continue the practice, continue to anchor and embody this memory that balances you into this word, and continue to use it. And this will train you to rebalance yourself. This is like you want kids to self-soothe. This will help you self-soothe. So it can help some with reparenting if that's something you're working on. I've utilized this in healing practices as well as resiliency training. I've used this as a process that helps with courage. So you can instill courage. This can be in a very empowering process. It can be a very calming process, a help with letting go of things. It can be multiple uses. But in times where you need endured strength and not just immediate strength, something that we think of as resilience, not just pushing through with a hard head and hunkering down, which I know a lot about, this can be used. It restores yourself to your body and gives you this continued reference point that can be brought into many contexts. So if you have this context while I'm shopping, another context is while I'm talking with some family member that I don't get along with that well. Another context is I'm talking to a family member that I get along really well. And maybe and I just had a bad day. Or a very challenging day, because I would like to stop having bad days, and I'll explain that in another video. And now this reference point and this word can bring a different body and a different experience to all these different contexts for you. So it takes some commitment, and to pick up a practice and start it and do it every day takes some commitment. So you please feel free to rewatch these videos. Please feel free. This will be in the core development group. This may also, not group, playlist, and I'm probably going to make a meditation playlist. This will be put in as well. Please comment with how you relate to this, what shows up for you with this. Comment as to where you think this will serve you and others, who you might want to share it with. And you can also just comment with your word. Please remember that this is not a replacement for therapy. And if this is overwhelming, I really do recommend you getting therapy. I'm still working on the restorative embodiment journal and a landing page for y'all to receive that. And I also want to thank you very much for sticking with me. Thank you for subscribing. Please share and like and subscribe. Thank you for coming back if you've come back. As always, if you want to support my channel, the Venmo will be in a link in the description. And so thank you very much. Bye.